Hi everyone, my name is Shahjahan VM. I welcome you to my channel 7 English. In today's video lesson, I'm going to show you how the speaking mock test is conducted. In order to prepare well in IELTS speaking test, in order to perform very well in IELTS speaking, it is very important to know that how the test is being conducted. So to help you to know about how the speaking test is held in the exam hall, I'm going to create a simulation of IELTS speaking test with one of the test taker. Some of you might be already went through the experience, while some of you may be new to it. So I thought that this video lesson would be extremely helpful for you to know it. Now let's have a look at how, even though it is not strictly real, I have tried my level best to make it look or to make it resembling to the IELTS speaking exam. Now let's have a look at the test scenario that exactly look the speaking test environment. Let's get it started. Yes, please come.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
May I
Please.
Thanks.
This is mock speaking test of the International English Language Testing System taking place on Saturday 29th of June 2019 at Institute of British and American Languages, Nawashahar. The center number is IBAL 144514 and the candidate is Mr. Harjit Singh. Candidate number is 098065. And the examiner is Shahjahan VM, and the examiner number is 81466383. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your full name?
My full name is Harjit Singh.
Harjit Singh. What should I call you?
You can call me Harjit.
Harjit. May I see your identification, please?
Yes. Here you are.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Okay, now in this first part of the test, I would like to ask you something about yourself. Are you a student or working somewhere?
Well, I have recently passed my plus 2 examination, so I'm looking to work as well, so it will depend if I find a new job.
Okay. Now, let's talk about bicycles. So, in this first part of the speaking test, I'm going to ask you some questions about bicycles. Tell me about the use of bicycles in your country.
Well, in my country, the use of bicycles is pretty frequent. If you consider 10 people, you will find at least 6 out of 10 they are using bicycles.
Okay. How popular bicycles is in your country?
Well, as I said in my earlier answer, it is quite popular. And because not everyone can afford bikes or motorcycles, so I think bicycle is one efficient way to transport from one place to another.
Are they used more now than in the past?
I would say no, because in the recent inventions like motorbikes, cars, they are used frequently because they allows you to transport from one place to another in significant amount of time. So I think the use of bicycles has been reduced for quite a while.
What do bicycle means to you?
Well, personally, I think bicycles are best way to stay in shape. It's a good way to exercise every day.
Okay. Now, moving on to the part 2. In this part, I would like to give you a topic and you will have 1 minute to prepare before what you are going to speak. And you should speak 1 or 2 minutes. Don't worry if I stop you in between. Yes. Well, in this part of the speaking, I would like to give you a topic and you will have 1 minute to prepare before what you are going to speak. And I want you to speak 1 or 2 minutes. Don't worry if I stop you in between. And you can prepare on this paper. And here is the pencil. And I want you to speak about a well-known person from the world of sport or film that you would like to meet. So here is the cue card.
Thank you.
And your time for preparation starts now. It's your time to speak. Ready? Yes,
I
start.
am. Well, the well-known person that I'm going to talk about today is Virat Kohli. He is one of the greatest cricket person in the world. I think he is known for his batting because at the moment he is number 1 ICC ranked batsman. And I think his batting class is way better than the others around him. Recently, he scored most number of runs in ODIs, which is 20,000 runs, and that's a big achievement to get. And he just surpassed the record of Brian Lara. So I think he's a great person in person as well. I would really like to meet him because he has faced too many difficulties in his life, but he has the ability to overcome all of those. Such example we can say is when he was playing Ranji Trophy, his dad passed away while he was playing the match, and then he continued on playing, but after the cremation of his dad, he went back to the ground and scored 100, which is quite inspiring for the others in the team. So I think this is what I need in my life as well. That if no matter how big the difficulty is, you always have to carry on and do what you are doing best, and you just support while the others are around. So I think Virat Kohli is the person who inspires me a lot.
Moving on to the part 3. In this part of the speaking test, I would like to ask you some general questions which are related to the topic in part 2, the cue card. So, I would like to ask you some questions. You were talking about your favorite sports person, Virat Kohli.
Yes.
So, the first question from part 3 speaking is, do sportsmen and women make good role models for young people?
Yes, I think they make good role models because a lot of young people are inspired from not just one sport person, but they have many sports person in like different fields of, taking example of cricket and football. I am inspired from Virat Kohli. Some other guy may be inspired from Cristiano Ronaldo. So it just depends. I think they still have the influence on the young ones.
Are we too concerned with the sports stars rather than the sports themselves?
Personally, what I think is I play sports a lot. So I don't think that I am personally too concerned about sports stars. But if we talk about general people around, the young ones, they are very much concerned about sports stars. They follow their fashion, they follow their styles. I think they don't play sports that much, but they do love to follow their sports person.
Okay. Why do you think sports stars are paid so much? Is that justified?
I have no idea. I've never had any interest in what they earn. I just love them. I just love their way of playing. And personally, if I would say, if somebody would ask me like how much Virat Kohli earns, I would probably don't know anything about it. But if somebody asks me like how he plays, then I can justify the answer.
Okay. Now let's talk about job changes.
Yes.
Do you think people are happy to stay in the same job for a long time these days?
Well, people just depends on their jobs actually. If they are content with their jobs, then they would really love to stay in the same position. But if we say generally and overall, we say people don't like to stay in the one position because they want to grow and they always want their promotions in the company. So if they are not getting any benefits from it, so I think they move from one job to another.
Okay. What type of jobs are popular these days?
I'm not too sure about this because I have no hard data about it. So I would say private jobs are quite popular these days because they actually offer a lot of money, which people want these days, I guess. So according to me personally, if I say private jobs are quite popular.
Okay. Right. Which jobs do you think will be popular in the future?
It just depends on what sort of technology is coming on. If I say, if you take sports, let's just take sports here. If we talk about people who have interest in sports, they can always take jobs in sport. It doesn't matter if it's just you're playing or anything. If you're a physiotherapist, then you have a lot of chances to getting into a team and have to look after the team, and it can earn you a lot of money. So these kind of jobs have a lot of what we can say is a lot of future.
Yes.
And then you can always earn a little good money with it as well. So I think it has a good future.
Okay. Thank you. That's the end of your speaking. Can I have that paper and pencil back?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Harjit Singh, that's the end of your speaking test. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Same to you.
And have a good day.
Same to you. Thank you. Well, guys, as far as Harjit's speaking is concerned, the feedback of his speaking, he did generally well in each of the speaking tasks: introduction, interview, long turn, and the two-way discussion. That means the third part, the follow-up questions. So there are 4 criteria that examiners, depending on that criteria, examiners evaluate your score. The first criteria is in speaking, fluency and coherence. Generally, he possesses his fluency level is good because he does not have any hesitation related with content or related with language. Occasionally he has few, even though he has few hesitations sometimes, but it does not create any interruption in the communication. And he used that linking words in order to connect, or in order to make his transition from one idea to the another idea. And he used the fillers also to avoid the pauses. So when it comes to fluency and coherence, you don't want to make any kind of pauses or long pauses, and of course you can take those short pauses. And of course the effective use of linking words is very important. Now let's move on to the second criteria, that is vocabulary or the lexical resource. His vocabulary is that the word that he used were quite relevant, and he used it quite accurately and appropriately, and he tried to use some sophisticated words as well, which are quite relevant. Now the grammatical range and accuracy. He used a wide range of sentence structure having the variation in tense, and he made a smooth transition from present tense to past tense and to, of course, the future tense. And he has tried to use some complex sentence, compound sentence that demonstrate his excellent ability to deal with the English under familiar and unfamiliar circumstances. That brings me to the final part of the speaking, that is pronunciation. His pronunciation is comparatively far better. He tried to use the two important pronunciation features. That is what you will be graded on, which are the stress and the intonation. He tried to use the first syllable of the words in between quite appropriately and accurately, and whenever he needs to make the variation in his voice, the tone, like intonation, the rising falling tone, that was quite above average. So based on these four criteria, he is eligible to score a band score of 7 or 7.5 in speaking. So that's what all about the feedback. Okay, that's what today's video lesson. I hope that the test and the feedback quite helpful for you. And if you find this video is very helpful and useful, please don't forget to leave your comment. And of course, if you are new to my channel or watching my YouTube channel for the first time, please do subscribe and share, and of course hit your like button. And of course I'll give my contact number here. In case of any queries related with IELTS or IELTS exam or even English speaking, you can please contact me on the number which I have given here below. And okay, so see you next time. Till then, bye, take care.